Yeah. So our session is on recording, so we can start. So like I said, the topic for tonight is project charter. Project charter. Is there any of us who've done any preliminary work on project charter? Okay. Before we dive in, let's look at where we are. So there are some, if you look at this, there are some parts here which I'm going to jump. So if you look at identifying the scope of work, here I said project manager, BA, and project sponsor. Scope of work, the project sponsor is responsibility for defining the scope of work, and the business analyst has the responsibility for breaking it down. It's not the duty of project manager to define the scope of work, but you have to make sure that the business analysts break it down for everybody's understanding. So it's BA's role. And then select project approach and methodology. Most companies already have their project approach. You find out which approach the company is using, whether they are using agile or waterfall. It's the duty of PMO, project management office, to decide the company's or the organization's methodology. It's not you to decide as a project manager. So you find out what your organization is using. If they don't have any, you can suggest. If they give you a plan, we are going to treat agile and waterfall later in this. Then facilitate requirement gathering, the business analyst, document requirements, requirement document and model requirements, BA, requirement analysis, BA, validate high level requirement, everything about requirements is BA, solutions evaluation, cost benefit analysis, business case, all these are BA. Yeah. So this is it. This is not your work. This is work of a business analyst. But as the someone who is accountable, you make sure that this work is done. Yeah. So this is where we are. This is BA. BA need to do all this in a project. So that's why BA is extremely important in a project. Some of all these, you work with BAs to understand, make sure that it's done, because it's going to help you in doing your work as well. Then this is where we are. This is your responsibility. Yeah, BA makes input as well, but it's their job. So project charter, this is where we are. Is it clear how I'm trying to make this work so easy for everyone to understand?
Not
Yes,
clear.
sir. It's clear, sir.
Okay, that's why I said that you should have a copy of this work breakdown structure. Okay, let's move in. So, the first thing is to define project charter. Like I said, maybe I've not said it before, but project charter is extremely important, but it's not by force. There are so many projects that God delivered without a project charter. Worked on some project that doesn't have project charter, but it's extremely important. Project charter is a formal document that authorizes a project and provides the project manager with the authority to allocate resources and makes decision. Okay. If we have a project charter in a project, I think in most cases, this project charter is protecting you, the project manager. It gives you the direction. It gives you the authority. It empowers you. It protects you. It's kind of armor of project. Once a project has a project charter, it's like you are wearing bulletproof. Why am I saying bulletproof? As a project manager, if you are running a project without a project charter, you are so vulnerable. Vulnerable in the sense that if anything happens to that project and you go to court or they set up a committee of inquiries, you might find yourself going to prison. Why? Because nobody authorizes you to spend the resources. There is no authorization. The authorization is always you see here I say authorizes, is empower you as a project. It's a very simple document, but it carries a lot of weight. If you are the kind of project manager that you're always working on public project. When I say public project is government projects where you have to spend taxpayers' money. For instance, during the COVID-19, some project managers were empowered to vaccinate the whole country. Yeah, a project manager did it to carry out the vaccination of the yes. This kind of project, if anything goes wrong, in this kind of project, there is going to be a committee of inquiry. During the COVID-19, the government, federal government, paid alleviation, kind of support, packages, food, money. They shared this to a lot of people. Even companies, when the companies were shut down, government supported a lot of companies to with money to pay their staff because their staff were at home. So many of this money were not distributed very well. There was a lot of fraud that happened. A lot of fake companies benefited from this, and government found out that there's so much fraud. And I know that committee of inquiries were set up for that project. And a lot of people went to jail. A lot of people are still in jail because of that COVID-19, because of the way they mismanage the fund. If you happen to be a project manager for that money, distributing that money that caused a lot of controversy, and you are brought in before the committee of inquiries, and they ask you, what are the documentations for this project? The first thing they are going to ask you is the project charter. And you tell the committee of inquiries, comprises of senators, House of Assemblies, House of Reps, a lot of people, learned people, and you are there as a project manager and you are telling them that you didn't have a project charter. And you're already roasting yourself. Yeah, nobody's roasting you. You are the one roasting yourself. So if you find yourself in this kind of projects, you have to create a project charter. You have to make sure there is a project charter. You know why you are doing it? You are not protecting anybody. You are protecting yourself. You are protecting the project. You are protecting your team. You are protecting your job, your integrity as a project manager. No one knows when anything is going to happen. As a matter of fact, project is a management of risk. You are just managing risk, full of risk. So anything can happen at any time. So that's why we create all this documentation. Don't try to be so lazy. After all, I know everything. I've already have a project a brief. They have got everything. Some people just manage a project with only project brief and deliver the project. You can be lucky and get away with it in so many companies, private companies. They see some of this as being bureaucratic. They don't want all this too much paperwork. What is project charter? Yeah. But if you are very smart, insist on doing it. Because when the project, you understand the project very well. So, why I'm telling you this story is just not because I don't want to just read. I want you to understand the importance so that you don't get yourself into trouble and say, Mr. Charles didn't say this. So, what are the primary purposes of a project charter? Formally, like I said, authorizes the existence of that project. That is the authority. It authorizes the existence of that project. Once a project charter is signed, it means the project starts. Define the objectives, scopes, and constraints of that project. Within that project charter, the project charter will clearly state the objective, state the scope, and constraints of this project. Why this project charter is so beautiful is that it's not only one is protecting you when you have problems, maybe like the analogy I gave, is equally very good because it protects you internally within the internal stakeholders. Now, so many projects, this is how we start having problem in a project. Here, we have an objective here. The project objective is defined already. And when the project started going on, you see one big man will come and tell you, Esther, I want you to insert 2 work items in that project. Because the man is very, big, and you respect him, you say, okay, yes, sir. Because you don't want to lose your job. This is when your problem, you are the one starting your problem. The objective is defined. Don't go against the objective of this project that is stated in the project charter. Everything you are doing must be what is contained in the project charter. The project charter, before a project charter is drafted, a project scope has been defined, clearly defined, and is stated in the project charter. When they say build 2-bedroom bungalow, and that is what in the project charter, and the project engineer or someone comes again and say, we have enough resources. I think the amount of resources we have here can build up to 3-bedroom bungalow. Make it 3 up, just make it 4. We have enough space. And you look, there's enough space, there's enough materials to build 4-bedroom bungalow. But this project charter, for instance, here where we live here in the UK, every house we build here has approval from local authority. If the local authority decide that within this environment, what we build here is 2-bedroom bungalow, and maybe the wife of the person that owns the house now convince you, you know that women are so greedy, you know, convince you, I want for why should I live in 2-bedroom? Why will have all this space? Build for nothing. I'm the wife. Make it 4. You are not in any trouble. And you go after, is it not what the wife is said to build it? The wife, maybe the husband is in abroad. And you go and build a 4-bedroom bungalow instead of 2-bedroom bungalow that is contained in the project charter. And after building, the town planning authority comes to inspect the house according to the document they have and what is in the project charter, and they find out that what you build contravene the government regulation within the development of that environment. It's not in the master plan. What you have in the master plan is 2-bedroom bungalow, but you build 4-bedroom bungalow. Automatic demolition, and they demolish the house. Do you see why you have to stick to the agreement? Yeah, at times you have to be stubborn as a project manager. Stubborn is not insulting people, but standing on what is the right thing, on the agreement. So that is scope. Why I'm saying this is that so many of us do have problem in our project due to when we creep out of our scope. And it's not going to be our intention to creep out of your scope. We call it scope creep. It's not going to be our intention. Somebody need to drag you out of your scope. A stakeholder, they are pulling you. All these stubborn stakeholders, they are going to pull you out of your scope. But you are not going to allow them to pull you out of your scope. That's why if you have a project charter, if they come and say, we have enough space here, we have enough materials, build 4-bedroom bungalow for us so that we can have enough space to relax. Tell them, madam, so what I have here in the project charter is 2-bedroom bungalow. If you want us to build 4-bedroom, it has to be changed. You know, it has to be changed. It can't just be, and that is it. If they agree and go through the normal process and update the project charter and change it from 2-bedroom to 4-bedroom bungalow, then you start building what is in the project. Then they can't just come and tell you because we have enough material and enough space. No. Before you can even do that, there's what we call change request. You have to fill a form called change request. And that change request has to go through a board called change request board. When the change request board evaluates the changes, that is anything, and say, yes, we are happy, and approve it, and then add more resources, that is when you go against what is in the project charter. You can't do that. It's a gross misconduct in project management when you go against the project objectives, the project scope, and the constraints. Constraints here can be budget and timeline. So that is the importance of project charter. It's going to protect you. So when they come and tell you, do this, you go and check what is in project charter. If the anything they are telling you to do, pressurizing you to do, is not in the project charter, theories, don't do it. Yeah. If it's more especially government projects, you stand your ground. At times you see some people, they resign from their job and go away with integrity. You go with your head very high. It's important. Instead of you to go fall into a trap that might ruin your career, ruin you, it's better to resign and go with a high head, your head high. Anything that is not in the project charter, don't do it. So project charter assigned a project manager and assign a project manager and give them authority, gives you authority. So when you're managing a project, don't fear. So many of us will be fearing when you start being a lot of people. You might just join the company, and this is how they start with their intimidation. The purpose of hiring you might just be because of the project you are working on. They just hired you because of the project. Some people will come and tell you, I've been in this company for 20 years. Some will come and tell you, my father is among the directors of these companies. A lot of stories will come to intimidate you and pressurize you to do what they want. Tell them good and fine. I respect that. Hey, yeah, but this is what the project charter said. Do simple and that, and you just move here. So you did not. So you didn't insult anybody. Just in a very mild tone. Sir, this is what the project charter said. Project charter said I should build a 2-bedroom bungalow. I don't know what you are telling me about 4-bedroom. It's not in this contract. Then project charter will help you identify stakeholders and outline their expectation. All the stakeholders in this project is already in the project charter. The project charter will state whoever in the project. Somebody will come and tell you, I'm the one of the biggest stakeholder. Just simply go to your project charter and look for the person. Is this guy one of our stakeholders? What if he's our stakeholders? From the beginning, what is he said? What is his expectation? So project charter is very, very powerful. So project charter establishes a high-level overview of the project deliverables, milestones, and budget. All the deliverables, milestone, and budget should be contained in the project charter. So, yeah, project charter's importance, alignment. It aligns stakeholders by clearly defining the project's objectives, scopes, and success criteria. Authorization. Provide project manager with authority to use the project resources and direct the project team. Clarity. Offer a concise reference for the project purpose and direction, helping in preventing misunderstanding. Anybody who is fighting you because we are following what is in the project charter, is fighting justice. Accountability. List the rules and responsibilities of stakeholders, key stakeholders, ensuring accountability from the beginning. You know whom the stakeholders are. You know their rules and their responsibilities is contained in the project charter. So if you are trying to build a project charter or create one, these are lists of things you are going to look out. A project charter must have a clear title, a clear and descriptive name of the project. It must have a project ID, a unique reference identifier for tracking projects. This is very important because you are not the only one who might be working on this project. You might find yourself as a project manager in the Ministry of Works, Abuja. You know that Ministry of Works, they have a lot of projects going on in different, we have up to, how many, 36 states, is even more than now, plus FCT. And project is going on, or projects are going on in all these states simultaneously. So, in the system, you might just need this kind of identifier. Once the key is in, bam, it's going to pull everything about the project, your own project. So you must have ID, project identifier. And then the date of the project charter, the official date when the project was officially initiated, problem statement, a concise explanation of the issue or opportunities the project will address while the project is being initiated. Must have a problem statement, goals, goal statement and objective, high level objectives and what the project is set to achieve, clear measurable goals that the project aims to achieve. Use SMART. This SMART will help you. The full meaning of SMART is specific, measurable, achievement, relevant, and time-bound. If you are trying to define the objective, you should always use a SMART. Here. And then scope, you must define the scope. When you are defining the scope, you don't just define the in scope. You must define the in scope and out of scope. Why is it important to define out of scope? When you come in a scope, you might find out within the boundaries of every scope, there are some items you don't even know whether they belong or they do not belong. So in a situation like that, you must define within that boundary what is included and what is not included. For instance, if they ask you to build a 2-bedroom bungalow, you might think, fencing, did they ask us to fence the house? Is it part of the scope? This can be very tricky. So you ask question and you might find out that fencing is not part of. So clearly they will say fencing of the house out of scope. Clearly they will say it. Deliverables, tangible and intangible outputs. Yeah, all the tangible and intangible outputs within the project must be listed. Project milestones, you need to break your project into phases. For instance, I've used phase 1, phase 2, initiate, planning. Break it into phases. And use it to create your milestone. You might say, my milestone is when I finish the initiate stage. It's a milestone. Yeah. Just like if you are traveling, you can say, when we reach to, if you are traveling from Enugu to Abuja, mostly you say, when you get to Lokoja, you will rest. Yeah. Or if you're traveling to Lagos, you might say, when you get to Rebinin, you rest. Everybody will park and have that is a milestone in that project, in that travel. You got to a reasonable stage. Yeah, everybody should stretch your leg. So in your project, try to understand your milestone, create timeline. Like I said, projects are not forever, it's time bound. Work with time. Key phases, deadlines, and checkpoints. You must have all these within your project charter. This will help you when you're going to start creating your project plan. Budgets and resources, high-level estimate of financials, human and material resources. All the resources needed must contain in the project charter. The financial estimate, how many personnel, that is human resources, how many bags of cement, how many trailer load of chippings, how many trailer load of ions, and any material resource, any team, if you are working in IT project, it could be licensing, software code, source code, script. This might be resources, material resources. It's not only, it depends on where the project is happening. Make sure you capture the resources summary very well. Assumptions and constraints. Assumptions, things believed to be true. What are the things you believe that is going to be part of this project? List them. Constraints, what are the limitations you think we are going to have that can slow you down, like timeline, budget? Yeah, these are things you need to focus on in case you have any issues with them. You find out that it's going to be a risk. This is where the risk comes from, assumption. So make sure you capture them very well. Once you capture them very well, you have already started addressing the risk. Stakeholders, key individuals or groups, so you need to state them. That's why it's important to do your stakeholder analysis to understand who are the stakeholders. If you don't capture the right stakeholders, then the wrong stakeholders will collapse your projects. Make sure you talk to the right people. Project teams and roles, so you must capture the project teams and their roles. If you have done a good RACI metrics, all you need to do is copy and paste. Success criteria, yeah, if you have captured success criteria very well in your project brief, all you need to do is copy and paste. Risk, initial identification of major risk, make sure you capture any other risks you feel like within the initial stage of the project. There are so many risks you can just pinpoint based on experience. You need authorization and approval. You need project sponsor's name and signature, and project manager's name and signature and date. That's what you need, and you have a project charter. Once you have a project charter, yeah, the project is yours. If the project fails, it's your responsibility. Whatever, you have the power to move the project forward. And key steps, you want to create, these are key step-by-step approach. Define the project vision. This is all you need to define the vision, discuss with stakeholders to understand the purpose and objective. Yeah, if you have had a thorough meeting with the stakeholders, this is going to help you. That's why the business analyst always plays a key role, because in most cases, the business analyst is going to be the one that will go and do the in-depth requirement gathering to understand stakeholders' objectives. So all you need to do is understand the stakeholders. Business analyst is doing it, work with them, understand it. If you don't have a business analyst, then you know you are going to do the work of a business analyst, because you need to carry out requirement gathering to understand the stakeholders and their expectation. Focus on business need and how the project addresses the business need. Identify stakeholders, determine who will involve. Like I said, do your stakeholder analysis. I'll outline the project scope. We've already discussed it. Define deliverables and success criteria. We've already discussed it. Assign roles and responsibilities. We've done that already. Highlights on budget and timeline. We've done that. Risk and conference and review and approval. So we've done all this. So let's look at this example of a project charter. This is a sample. This project charter is for Monify CRM system, implementation of CRM system for a digital bank called Monify. The project title is Monify CRM Implementation Project. The project ID is MF CRM 2025-001. That is the project ID. It's a unique identifier. So you don't need to just use a tracking number you generate from this project. You see, this is a very unique number in this project. For this project, MF, that's Monify CRM 2025, that is the year, and 001, meaning that is the first project. So, and then the date, project charter 12 June 2025, and you capture the problem statement. Monify currently lacks a centralized and scalable customer relationship management system. This leads to fragmented customer data, inefficient lead tracking, poor customer engagement, and missed opportunity for growth. Without a CRM, it is difficult to scale operation, support agent, and deliver a consistent customer experience across digital channels. Go implement a cloud-based CRM system, preferably Dynamics 365 CRM or equivalent, to streamline lead management, automate customer onboarding, improve agent performance, and enhance customer satisfaction. The CRM will serve as the digital backbone for Monify's customer acquisition, onboarding, retention, and support. The scope, we look at this, we started with in scope and then end with out of scope. In scope, create a CRM requirement gathering and design. Customize for Monify agent network, lead, and onboarding workflow. Data migration from spreadsheet and existing tool. Integration with website, form, email, and Monify app. User training and documentation. Pilot tests with DTBS trains and agent. You see, this is in scope. This is meaning that this is what you are expected to do. And they say out of scope, ERP or accounting integration, full marketing automation features. Yeah. You see, they say this is good. They know you can integrate ERP with the CRM system. But they say no. This can be done in the future phase of maybe another project because they don't have enough money to do this. Full marketing automation, they know this is very good, but they say future road is in the future roadmap. Don't do it now because they don't have enough budget for it now. Some of you might become overzealous project managers. You want to impress people that don't want to be impressed. And you go and start telling the team, let's just show these people we can do it, you know? And you go and start integrating ERP with the CRM system. Who sent you? And you go halfway and you find out that the budget you have is not enough to carry out the integration, and you go back to the management. I say we need more money, and they say for what? I said because you know, we just wanted to carry out this integration, and they say put it in paper. And when you put it in paper, and they say attach project charter, and you attach project charter, and they say in project charter out of scope, and they tell you, say, but the project charter, they said it's out of scope. How you then started working against your project charter as a project manager? You see that embarrassment will kill you, and you lose your job. And you come home and tell your wife, there's one person, one juju woman in my office. He said, I entered that woman, never liked me. He used juju. Who used juju? Or you say, that's my wicked uncle in the village. That man never liked any good thing that comes. But you is the person that is working against yourself. They say out of scope. Make sure you forget all the focus on in scope. If anybody come and say you can do this, tell them, but they say this in future scale. Deliverables. You have enough, everything that needs to be done. They try to capture it here. You know, most of these are the work of a business analyst. You know, configure CRM instance, lead management dashboard, agent onboarding and customer interaction workflow, KPI tracking dashboard for lead, client, and agent, user guide and training session, post-implementation review report. They've equally listed what deliverables are that will help you to kickstart. So, and then you come here in the project milestone and timeline. This is what you have here. This project milestone, under the milestone, project initiation and planning, they say this is the time, the target time. I say requirement gathering, target time, setup and customization, target time, data migration and integration, target time, user training, target time, go pilot, target time, post go live, target time. So try to have, that is what we call work breakdown structure. You see, you have a mini work breakdown structure within the project charter, showing that at this point, so if at this, for instance, if by June 24th, you are still doing, you are still in a project initiation according to this timeline, then you know that you are having a delay. Your project is already delayed. If you are doing requirement gathering and analysis, and you should be here, you should know that your project is having a problem. So you need to work hard. That's why you need to have milestones to guide you. So everything should be contained in the project charter. Budget and resources. You see here, the project charter equally comes with estimated budget. Yeah, you see here, everything is detailed and total to £35,000. So you have a rough estimate, and this is what you are working with. Assumption. You captured all the assumption here. Licensing and vendor partnership should be or will be finalized by June 20. DTBS agent will participate in the testing. This is her assumption, what you believe that is going to be happening in this project. Constraints, you have constraints. Budget is capped at 35 for 1 year. So at the end of the day, it has been agreed that 35,000 is now the budget. So if you are working outside this budget, you are on your own. You have to make sure you work with this budget. If you are a smart project manager, as you have 35,000, their first project planning will be with 25,000, and you keep 10,000 as a contingency, as a backup. If by mistake, you can fall that back to 30,000. At extreme situation, you just fall back and make use of the full 35,000. And you find out there's no way you are going to struggle if you back yourself up like that. See, this work like constraint. Another constraint, CRM must be cloud-based with mobile support. Then they say cloud-based. So don't try to go and start doing anything with on-premise, because they say cloud-based. Implementation must be completed before Monify's national rollout. Before they roll out the Monify, a digital bank nationwide, the implementation of CRM should be ready. Stakeholder is equally captured. Who is the stakeholder in this project? You see the stakeholders here listed, and someone who is not here and come and be harassing you and be giving you authority. This is what I want. And if you look very well here, this man is not even captured in the stakeholder list. You tell the man, I don't know you, or is your name on the stakeholder register? And if you ask such question, I think I have not met you before, sir. The list of stakeholders in my project charter, I can't seem to find their name. And the man will know that you have a good document you are working with. And you see the tone will change, because you know that, yeah, he's not a stakeholder. The project team and roles, you capture all your team members you are working with, all of them, capture everybody, use your RACI metrics to capture them, possible, if you've done that RACI. Then success metrics. Yeah. Success metrics is what it should be. You see here, CRM adoption rate, it should be at least above 90% within 1 month. Lead generation should be 20% plus, so above 20%. Reduction in onboarding time should be more than 30% faster than before. User satisfaction, it must be above the rate. User satisfaction rate must be above 85%. So that is what looks good in this project, our success metric. Then risk summary, you capture a risk, just a brief of a risk register here, and authorization. Come here for authorization. You see projects, project sponsor, name, role, signature and date. Project manager, you put your name and your role, project manager. And if the organization agreed that there must be another signatory, such as head of operation, then it about, if it's only both of you, project manager and the project sponsor, is enough. But if they agree that, yeah, let's have another person to become a signatory, then you can add more people. Yeah. So that is it. So you see, you've created a project charter. This is example of a project charter. You have it in a document, you keep it. Once you have this document signed, it becomes authority and everybody will respect it. Yeah. So you see, with a document like this, make sure that everybody, all the stakeholders, have a copy of this project charter. You shouldn't be the only one that have, everybody have access to project charter, every stakeholder. It's very beneficial because it ensures a clear understanding of the project goals and scope before the project begins. It provides a formal approval process, establishing stakeholder commitment, act as a reference document for resolving disputes and clarifying project details. Yeah, conclusively, project charter is very crucial document that kickstart the project. It lays the foundation for successful execution by aligning stakeholders, clarifying objectives, and formalizing the authority of the project manager. You see here, formalizing. Okay, maybe right from the initiate stage, when the conception, from the time you receive the project brief, you must have been doing 1 or 2 things before you create the project charter. You see, all those areas, you are the project charter, but you are responsible, your role as the project charter, as the project manager has not been formalized. So when you receive a signed project charter, then it formalizes your authority. Yeah. That it formalizes your authority does not give you the power to go and start bullying people. because it has been formalized. My role has been formalized. It's now official. I'm the project manager. And Aisha will see Esther. I say, Esther, come here. Come get a cup of tea for me. Because you don't do that. As a matter of fact, once it becomes formalized, you start making tea for your team members. As you know, leadership by example, not them making tea for you. You know, so always ensure that your project has a well-documented, approved charter before you proceed with any significant work. You see that before the project charter, what you are doing is just preliminary gathering requirement, trying to understand. You have not started major work. Yeah, it's allowed. But before the major work starts, get yourself, chartered before anything. So that's it. It's very important. If you do not learn anything in this boot camp as a project manager, you must learn project charter. So, discussion question: why is a project charter considered essential for projects? Can a project proceed without a charter? What are the potential risks? Why would you handle stakeholders' disagreement during the creation of how would you handle stakeholders' disagreement during the creation of project charter? So this is what you and your accountability partner should go and deliberate on. Yeah, so that is what you have to sleep on for tonight before we meet again. So this is the end of it. So how you can make use of, this is a template. I have another template here, which I'm going to share with you. If you need a very smart and very portable or brief project charter, you can use this. Some project charter can be so detailed. Some project charter can just be very brief. So you see here, this document, it contains space for project statement, goal statement, project leader, project approach, project team, project personnel, project scope, project deliverable, and start date and estimated duration. So, but we do not have budget, which can be inserted as well. So, yeah. But whichever one, you can use the one we have on our lesson notes. Yeah. But with this, you are guided on how to create a project charter and what project charter stands for. And it's important, even if you are creating a project for yourself, make it a habit of having a project charter. Yeah. So thank you for joining for tonight. And if you have any question, then all for you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Can't hear you, sir.
You are muted, sir.
We can't hear you, sir.
You are muted. You are muted.
Maybe he's busy with something.
Hello guys. Sorry that I'm budging on you guys. I beg. Is there anybody here that wants accountability partner? I beg. This thing don't they do me somehow.
More will see your face.
You want to see my face? All right. You don't see my face now.
I couldn't join the lesson from the beginning. Maybe our course rep will give us update as regards to accountability button and other things discussed within the course of the meeting. So that I just overheard the tutor talking about accountability button and whatever. So we beg our able and erudite course rep Aisha to keep us updated in regards to that. Thank you.
Pertaining accountability partner, you can form accountability partner with anybody. You understand? Anybody you have understanding with that, you feel you can work with. You can just, create a group.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So yeah, you know. Welcome.
Yes, we can. Welcome back, sir.
I had a network glitch, so but yeah. So like I said about our accountability partner, you guys go and sort it out. But somebody is saying that he didn't join on time. Please do not go accountability partner with unserious people. Make sure you go for accountability partner for somebody you can benefit from, not somebody that only benefit from you. Simple. If you are not ready for this, you are waiting that after the person will come and teach you. If me, I'm not gonna agree. So Agatha, you are the first person now, so you ask question. Okay, please.
No, not me, sir. I did not raise my hand.
Okay, I saw you. Okay, it's now only Aisha. Other people have put their hand down.
Before it was me and somebody. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir, for the class. My question is as regards to the project ID. So it's the responsibility of the project manager to generate a unique ID for the projects, for the project charter, the project, I mean. That's my question. Is it the responsibility of the project manager to generate? Because when the example you say,
whoever is creating I said, who is responsible for creating the project charter?
Is the project manager.
So if you are creating a project charter, you know everything that project ID is not a big issue. Whoever is creating it, make sure if you already have an ID, then use the already ID. If the project management office have already documented, or profiled this project already and give it a unique ID, then make use of the existing ID. It's not a big deal. The main thing, you have something to identify the project.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So Purity.
Good evening, sir. Sir, please, my question is, for those of us that have not done any project before, like my very self, I've not done any project before. So how can I identify a risk in a project that I've not done before as a project manager?
That's why we are here, to learn, because you've not done a project before. All you need to do is pay attention in everything we are doing. By the time we finish, you will learn everything, or even risk identification. When we are going to do risk analysis, when we are going to do rate management, you understand how to do it. If you are already a professional project man, I don't think you should be here.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, Purity, Frank John.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So yes, sir. So I've seen that in a situation, my question is that a situation where you have not been given a project charter, you now come in and raise a project charter by yourself to avoid future issue. It is not a government contract. It's not a government project, but this is a close person, assuming an elder brother introduces you to a friend, to his friend, to do a project for the friend. I now come up with a project charter, asking the friend to sign off, and the friend said no, that you are a brother, it's a family thing. They leave those official stuff. In that case, how do we do?
If your project, your brother do not want it to be handled like a project, then you do it brotherly thing now. Anything that comes out of it, you people will settle it like brothers.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So if we want you to handle it like brothers, then if a problem comes out, you deal with it like brothers. Simple as that.
Yes, sir.
Or if you don't want it to handle, if he hires you and is paying you,
yes,
of course you do a good service. If your brother hires you to do a project for him and paying you, then you give him a professional service.
Yes, sir.
But if he's not hiring you, you just want to help, you want to deploy your expertise, he said no. I don't see how somebody will not know how to drive a car and get a driver to drive. You want to put a gear, he said no, don't put gear. How can you allow somebody who don't know how to drive a car to help you to? He says, my brother, I want to put a gear. My brother saying I shouldn't put. Yeah, I don't get that. It's a simple logic. You are the professional here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Where are we? Ben Chikezie.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah,
I don't
good
have
evening.
a question. I actually wanted to support what you said in answer to Aisha's question. When you said there's going to be project ID number based on. I'm trying to say, if it is a government project, why the project is being given to project managers to handle? There is always a unique ID number written in the maybe the form or the document was used to hand over the project to the project manager. So we can also use that ID number while creating the project. I just wanted to support what you said. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, Chikezie, for your contribution. Vivian K.O. Okay, Vivian is not forthcoming. Agatha,
I'm coming, oh.
we are not waiting for you.
Okay, my camera is not coming up anyway. Okay, Ruby, thanks for the today's
No, you don't. You
class.
need to put that. You are always delaying us, Vivian.
Really?
If
Oh,
you know
sorry.
you want to ask question, you raise your hand. Be ready to speak.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Okay, just a quick one. Today my first question Aisha has answered about the ID number. Then the second one, in the process of the class, there's I don't know the particular subheading. They said the project charter assigns a project manager. The project charter assigns a project manager. So I'm not getting that clear.
The project charter gives
Assigns a project manager.
The project charter has assigned a project manager to the project. It's the project charter that assigns you to a project, gives you the authority, authorizes you
to create a project charter.
So if there is no project charter, you are just working there like a clerk. So when there is a project charter, the project assigns you to that particular project, or any project you are working on is the project charter that assigned you, gives you the authority to work on that project. Is the grammar a bit understanding now?
It's okay. Thank you.
All right, Agatha.
Okay, sir, please, it's just an innocent question. When you were talking, you mentioned like budget or something. If you try to, as a good project manager, you try to manage the entire thing and also keep some for as contingency. I mean, what did you call it? A contingency plan. Sorry. So if at the end of the day you successfully execute the project and then something is remaining, how do you handle the fund?
It's not
Are
your
there
money.
processes? That's why I said it's an honest.
It's
Are there
not your
processes
money.
to do that?
You want to start. Start making arrangements so that you can keep something for yourself.
Sir, I know I'm a church girl, though. I'm a church girl.
Who says pastors do not like money?
No. Okay, thank you, sir.
Well, in that case, it happens a lot. You know, you deliver the projects successfully below the budget. It happens a lot. And so many people, so many corrupt project managers, after doing that, they can just decided to retire the money. Yeah, as a sharp guy, you can create anything. You can even tell the boys, we are going to do overtime. And we are going to work Monday, Saturday, and Sunday, 12 hours a shift. You people just come there and drink tea and coffee and watch TV and go home, and everybody get paid. They share the money. We know those things. But as a church girl, which you said, you write your reports and return it. Just like Dora Kunyel then. They will give you CON. Yeah? So.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Well, after Ukamaka Onwibo, we close for tonight. So, Ukamaka, you can ask your question.
Okay, thank you, sir. Good evening, sir. Thank you for today's lecture. The question I want to ask is this. Is there any point in time that a project charter can be amended? I mean, after the project might have kicked off.
Yes. Project charter can be updated, like I said, but you are not going to erase the initial project charter. So all you need to do is update, add more things and the reason. For instance, like I said, in our scope, we agree that it's going to be a 2-bedroom bungalow. And along the line, we have a stakeholder demanding that it's going to be a 4-bedroom bungalow, and all the necessary documentation. For instance, if you want to, we call it change request. Change request is requesting a change from the original documentation for something to be added. For you to do that, you need to fill a form called change request form. That change request form needs to go through change control board. That change control board needs to evaluate the impact of that change. If they agree, the change control board is going to be you, project manager is going to be part of that change control board and other stakeholders. If the change control board approves a change, then they are going to make provision for the extra work. Yeah.
Okay.
For instance, they ask you to build from 1 bedroom, from 2 bedroom to 4 bedroom. That additional 4 bedroom is going to cost more money. So they are likely going to add more money, that is increase the budget. They are likely need to extend the timeline. If it's 6 months, they can say, okay, let it be 10 months, the timeline. So when there is a change like that, it's going to go to project charter and update the project charter that there is an update. So
All right.
even in the project plan, you are going to update it in your project plan. So we are coming to project plan, but when we come to project, there is called versioning. You know, version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4 in project. So whenever you update a document in a project, then it becomes a version 2, a version 3, a version 4. Yeah,
Okay.
that it does not destroy the original document. It creates a history of changes. And all of them are going to be part of that documentation. So everybody can see the sequence of changes, like all these cars, all these softwares you see we use. Anytime there is any feature added in a document, we call it change log. If you go to the change log, you see the date. There is updates. And everybody is going to be communicated, even the people using the app. If you see an app, you say there is maybe Samsung you are using, can tell you update your Samsung. They have added something. If you go to their documentation, they will talk about it's going to be added. Even in the project charter, it's going to be added the day is agreed. And the change that takes place, that is it. So, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, everyone. And
Thank you very much, sir.
have a lovely night.
Thank you,
You
thank you,
too.
thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
You too. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Bye. Bye-bye, sir.
You're welcome.
Good night, sir.
Bye-bye, sir.
Yeah.